Breaking news, PWCC has been restricted by eBay due to shill bidding. Let's get into it. Good afternoon, sports card collectors. It's been a while. Haven't really had time to do a video lately. Been busy with work. I actually have a day job, so definitely not quitting my day job. Um, I wanted to talk about PWCC. I've seen a couple of posts that PWCC has been accused of shill bidding, and it looks like there's going to be some consequences from eBay. So, are you kidding? They PWCC shill bids? I've never heard of this before. It's just kind of weird because when I first got back into the hobby about a year ago, that's all I heard. I heard that Probstein and PWCC shill bid all the time, and I didn't really quite understand to what extent or how this is going to affect the hobby. To be honest, a lot of my purchases were from Probstein or PWCC for ridiculously low prices. Although the way the market fluctuates, I guess they weren't that low after all. Depending on when you look at when I bought them, they were low. One of the purchases that I made on Probstein was a Russell Wilson Prism PSA 9, and I thought I got it at a great price. I think it was $315, and I just checked, and I believe the card has gone below $300, which to me is insane. I don't understand how Russell Wilson prices are dropping like they are. I think that is probably the best buy opportunity right now heading into the NFL season. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about PWCC, my experience with them, and possibly what this could mean for them. Looks like the information is pretty fresh and nobody really knows. Is eBay cutting them off completely, or are they going to only allow buy it now listings on eBay through PWCC? Because at that point, there's no risk of shill bidding. The seller just gets to sell at whatever price they want to sell. And that's the other thing to consider is there are a lot of people who have their cards on PWCC. Luckily, I don't have many. I actually sent 3 cards to PWCC probably about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. And the reason I did it is because I saw a video by another YouTube content creator who was talking about saving on sales tax. At that point, we didn't have the tax exempt status, myself and my brother. So we were buying cards on eBay and paying sales tax. We live in California. So I thought, oh, let's just try PWCC because at least we won't have to pay sales tax. And then let's see what the cost of shipping to have them ship the cards home. Well, I had 3 cards. One of those cards was a Shohei Ohtani Bowman PSA 10. And as you know, Shohei got really hot in the middle of the season. So I said, let's flash auction this thing. Let's see how PWCC really works. Let's put it to the test here. And to my surprise, and I don't know why I was surprised because apparently PWCC has been accused of shill bidding all along. And I don't know that my sale had a shill bid. I mean, it would have been done without my knowledge, but I did sell the card for it's what seemed like a high price compared to other sales. I believe it sold for over $400, and I paid $100 for the card about a month before. So after fees and everything, I think I cleared $350, which was just a nice return on a $100 investment. And because of that, I actually thought about sending more cards to PWCC and flash auctioning them off. In a situation like Shohei Ohtani, where he's just incredibly hot, that's when you want to use the flash auction. Again, this is all before the news that eBay might not be allowing flash auctions from PWCC, but that's what you would have wanted to use it for. And I actually did want to do a video on PWCC and the benefits of it. So I just, with this recent news coming out right now, I just decided to do the video right now so that it's fresh, so let's just talk about what the benefits were, but then we don't know now because now we really don't know what the consequences are. So I just kind of wanted to get it all out of the way and get it all done in one video. I want to just briefly step away for a second and talk about the blank wall I have here. So one of my buddies actually sent me some some pictures to hang up because he's tired of looking at my blank wall. And this is one of the pictures. It's just a picture of a football on fire. And I thought that's appropriate heading into the NFL season with Marshawn Lynch. I put the Marshawn Lynch jersey. That's Marshawn Lynch at University of California jersey. And so still haven't had a chance to hang anything up yet, but we're slowly working on trying to snazz up the place a little bit so it's not so boring. And anyway, thank you, Glenn, for sending me these pictures, and we'll see how it all works in the background here, because I have a couple of other ideas of maybe some pictures I want to hang up, maybe some auto or jersey. I'm not really sure what direction I want to go. If anyone has any advice, that would be very helpful as well. So anyway, back to PWCC. At this point, obviously, I'm not going to be sending cards to PWCC until we find out exactly what the what the consequences are as far as the shill bidding is concerned. But it's just really interesting that this came out today, and at a time when I was strongly considering sending some cards because I really liked that flash auction feature. The other thing I wanted to talk about, just to kind of get some thoughts on the market, is PSA grading. I've been watching Retro Hoops Collectibles. If you haven't had a chance to check out his channel, really funny guy, actually. He's out in, I believe he's in Houston. So he's in Texas, and he's a Houston Rockets fan. But he does this study where he tracks how many cards are graded by PSA every week. And lately he's been pretty upset because their number of cards that they've graded has gone down as a result of them going to the National and grading at the National. Now, we can't say it's one for one, but he's been tracking the amount of cards graded week to week, and there was a significant drop, roughly 30%, the week preceding the National, during the National, and after the National. So that's kind of frustrating when you've had cards at PSA for almost a year. It was kind of funny. He said, my cards are about to have a birthday. And so I thought that was pretty funny. And so, it's got me thinking about PSA in general and the other grading companies that are starting to emerge, and what is this all going to mean? Because as I stated in an earlier video, I am going to be sending not a large amount, but about 50 cards to HGA, more just as just to kind of see what do the cards look like with the labels. As they have very nice labels. Also, just to kind of see what the resale value of these cards might be for some of them. A lot of them I do want to keep just for my PC, but I do kind of want to see how they do on the open market. One thing I will say about HGA is that I believe that they are very good graders. I sent in a Jason Tatum Optic Shock, which looked very clean. I probably, if I were sending it to PSA, I would have said this should get a 10 or a 9. I wouldn't be surprised if it came back a 10. But I'm always expecting a 9, and it came back in HGA 9.5. So that seemed pretty reasonable. I also sent a Zach LaVine Blue Silver Prism courtside card. Those cards generally grade very well at PSA, and I probably would have expected a PSA 10, and it came back in HGA 9.5, and it was actually a true gem. It got 9.5s all across the board. So I feel like their grading is fairly accurate, and that's just from my experience. It'd be interesting to hear what anyone else that has used HGA, what their perception is or experience is. But that's kind of my experience with HGA. But what I was thinking about with PSA is a lot of people have said, well, I think PSA is going to gravitate toward grading the higher end cards and leave the smaller stuff for companies like HGA or SGC or whoever else emerges on the market. It looks like there's a couple of other new grading companies on the market. And I was thinking about that though, because as I was watching Retro Hoops Collectibles, he's saying that PSA almost hit 200,000 cards in 1 week that they've been grading. As you know, they've also doubled their warehouse size. They're hiring people like crazy. So they're growing and expanding. I can't see them doing this to only grade high-end cards. To me, I see them actually competing with all of these other grading companies to even grab the lower end stuff. Maybe Topps Chrome base, Prism base, maybe even second year, third year star players, those types of players. So those types of cards, which aren't going to really resale for a whole lot. However, if you only have $12 into the grading fee, it might be worth it to get them graded. And that's how it used to be at PSA. And PSA, you could submit in bulk, and I believe that there were even options that were lower, below $10 per card. So a lot of these cards you see on the market were not, it was not very expensive to grade them. And I believe that, and Nat Turner did say this in an interview, that they do plan to have a bulk submission, low cost option. So I mean, for whatever that's worth, right? I mean, but it makes sense though, because they're able to grade almost 200,000 cards per week. What are they going to be grading once they've cleared out the backlog? And I know everybody's acting like the backlog is going to last until 2025. Realistically, do the math. If they're grading 200,000 cards per week, they'll hit 1 million within 5 weeks, right? So just kind of prorate that out, and you should be done with the 10 million within a year. Now we have a long time left after that year is up, and if they're able to push out 200,000, maybe even 250,000 cards per week, they're going to be wanting to grade everything. And so it just got me thinking, I'm going to hold a lot of cards to submit to PSA, probably as a bulk submission. So cards that I wouldn't want to even pay $30 per card. It would just seem too expensive to pay. If there's a lower cost option, that's what I want to do. And I do believe we'll kind of get back to that at some point. And if not with PSA, then with somebody. I do believe that we'll get kind of to a point where you can submit maybe 100 cards at one time in a bulk order and get the cost below $15 per card, within that $10 to $15 card range. I think that's ultimately what these grading companies would want, because it's clear that cards are not going to, 3X, 4X, 5X forever. And, maybe there's some nice cards that you want to get graded, and you pay $10 to get it graded. The cost of the card was $5, and you can resell it for $30, $40 on eBay. It's a nice little profit. And it's, I believe, what people were doing before this whole thing blew up. So those are just my thoughts on PSA. I also watch Northeast Ohio, Neo, and he kind of pointed that out as well. He said that he believes that PSA, once they clear out the backlog and really get going and kind of build up that evil empire, they're going to start taking out the little guys. They're going to go after them one by one, either acquire them or drive them out of business. And I actually agree that is probably what is going to take place. So just wanted to put my thoughts out there as far as PSA. I am going to send some cards to HGA because I like the labels, and there's a lot of uncertainty right now with these grading companies. So why not? You got to take a chance and see what happens. But I am holding a lot of cards to eventually submit to PSA. So anyway, just wanted to get the video out there, mostly about PWCC, the news about PWCC. Love to hear your thoughts. If you ever use them, will you continue to use them? Seems like we're starting to have more, I don't want to call them scandals, but more controversy in the market, in the hobby. And I almost feel like it's probably expected, given the amount of money in the hobby and all of the activity. We had the controversy with alt. We always have controversies with either maybe cards being altered or trimmed and that sort of a thing. And then obviously we've had the fake slab controversies as well. So to me, it honestly feels just like part of the process. This is going to be the norm as more money comes into the hobby. There's more money to be made. And so there's going to be people who try to take advantage of those types of situations. And I do appreciate people who call people out. Card porn. Ziggy, I watch Ziggy No. He's a very energetic, kind of seems like a controversial guy, but he calls it out. And I like that. I like that he at least brings this stuff to the surface, and people can make up their own mind on whether they believe there's something to be concerned about or not. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope everyone has a good day, and I will see you on the next one.